Hell, people, it's your boy Usmaan back again with another podcast. As you can see from the title, we're switching it up. We got the homies from the Rival Fan podcast in the building. We got a special guest rocking a very beautiful Inter Milan kit. Yes, he's a fake fan. He's got another t-shirt.
Come on now.
How dare you? That's not allowed. Then you get the rules. Then you get the rule book from Twitter.
Yeah. I say this. I said this on the terrace, yeah. I'll say it again. All you people that don't like people wearing foreign shirts, bun you, man, fam. You know what I'm saying? This kit is wavy, yeah, and I'll wear it because it's nice blood. You know what I'm saying? The rest of you, man, if you don't like it, don't wear one. Get off people's backs if they like wearing other kits, fam. No one's forcing you to do it.
100%. I had to just get that out of the way because obviously people.
That is a beautiful shirt.
Listen, if people want to cry, they can cry. I've got a Portuguese top, so obviously I must be Portuguese, you know.
Yeah, I bought this. Wait, Usmaan, listen to this year. I bought this because Inter Milan bought Romelu Lukaku from us. I was just like, yes. I was like, yo, Inter, for that, yo, here little peas, and I'll come get your shirt, and this is a wavy shirt as well. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you love to see. I'm going to be getting a West Ham kit soon, so obviously, Lawless is showing me the plug. But anyways, let's get into the video. As you can see from the title, we're going to be discussing players that have declined, and the key sort of premise that we're looking at is decline after you've signed them. So not, so for example, you know, we use, so we'll just say Varane. Sebastian Varane obviously had a high expectation prior to come to Manchester United, and for whatever reason it didn't work out. Forlan, also another person in particular, again, declined at Manchester United. So they're the players we're going to discuss. Obviously, you know, we're passionate guys, so it's going to get heated, but we want to hear from you guys. Get your thoughts in the comments. Put your names out there. If you don't agree with something that we said, in particular, Lawless, just put it there and I will put it on screen. Any disagreements on Lawless, I'll put it there. But anyways, without further ado, let's get the guest on. First and foremost, from West Ham Fan TV. I think I got it right this time. We got a homie in the building. We got Lawless. What you saying, bro?
Yes, that obviously the instigator of this debate. Like I said, like the thing is, me and Kush was going back and forth. We was all talking about Spurs and West Ham, right? Yeah. Then all of a sudden, like Usmaan comes and decides to try and throw smoke at both of us, and that's where I was like, nah. I was like, wait a minute, your team has just been the decline of so many players. How can you even pipe up? And then he was like, what do you mean? And that's how where we are now. So this is going to be interesting. It was going back and forth, and I was like, why don't we just do a video about it? Let's do a podcast. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, listen, I'm looking forward to it as well. Obviously, you know, the WhatsApp groups definitely sparked some sort of debate. But listen, it's just a bit of fun. Obviously, it's a bit of back and forth banter, but nonetheless, let's introduce our next guest, regular on the podcast. We got the homie Daniel. What you saying, bro?
He's muted him. He does this all the time.
all the time. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Silly stuff, man. Technology and that. But nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to be on.
Yes. You love to see the famous red curtains behind him. You love to see it. World class.
No, like that, man.
London as well, but it is what it is. That's just my opinion. Anyways, last but not least, special guest appearance in the Inter Milan kit. The leader of the resistance. We got the homie KJ. What you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy to be back on. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into this because you know what, yeah? This list is gonna be depressing. Like after we talk about it, you're gonna be like, right, like how did this happen? To all these players, man. It's gonna be sad, but hey, I've got slanders to throw people's way. So let's do this, innit? Like,
oh god, my list of West Ham players is beautiful. But don't worry, we're gonna start.
Bring it.
God, don't worry. I've got a bit of notes down, not many. But what, Lawless, we're gonna start with you. We're gonna allow you to have the first blow. So the way it's gonna work, obviously, we're gonna allow everyone to have one turn each. So obviously, state their claim, so to speak. We want to hear from you guys as well. Obviously, let us know if you agree or disagree with anyone. But yeah, Lawless, start with you first and foremost. As you said, the premise was kind of, you know, the first initial debate was kind of that which team has had the most players declining since they've joined that club. So obviously, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like obviously, you know, is what I'm saying is I feel like Man United out of any team in the league has had the most players that were on fire, that were good when you signed them. They were on a roll, they looked really good, and they went to Man United and they just went on a serious decline. Lukaku, for example, banging in goal team. He goes to Man United, completely declines. He's not hitting them numbers. The fans are giving him stick. He goes to Inter. He's back to that old Lukaku. Alexis Sanchez, world-class player, single-handedly keeping Arsenal in Europe. He goes to Man United, plays the piano, and he's never seen again.
Worst transfer ever.
Harry Maguire is a meme now. He's a meme.
Oh,
come on.
No, I'm not having this one. I'm not having this one. I'm sorry.
It's true.
Because Harry Maguire was doing this at Leicester, but because it's at Leicester, you don't really see it. He hasn't declined. He's just been Harry Maguire. That's all I'm saying.
But come on, like if he was doing it at Leicester, why sign him for 18 million? If this is the player he was at Leicester, why would you sign him for 80 million pounds? Surely he's not as good as he was.
Because Woodward is a wallet. That's the reason why we signed him.
KJ, the reason why I'm not hearing that though is because then if you're not, this is what I'm saying. It comes down to how you want to classify this criteria. Because if you're not going to put Maguire in there, I could make the argument that Torres the season before
how about we classify that? Daniel?
That's what I'm saying, because I could make the argument the season before we bought Torres was terrible for Liverpool, as in shocking. And then we went and spent 50 million on him based on what he did the prior season. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Have your Maguire, and I'm to be fair, I'm not Maguire like fanboy. I don't love him off or anything like that. But I want to try and be fair. But have the Maguire in it.
I don't feel like Wan-Bissaka has been on fire as he was that season at Palace. I'm not saying that he's completely terrible, but I feel like he's sort of been inconsistent at times at Man United. And when he was at Palace, he was on fire.
Let's say AWB, because AWB is still quality defensively, and you have to look at it like
He's still young.
When you go from a small club to a,
you weren't saying on the chat when I was saying he's 21.
It's not even about the age. Look at him at Palace. At Palace, he didn't have the ball. Like, he didn't need to attack. Now he's being required to attack. We're seeing he needs to build his game more. There's nothing wrong with that.
Also, he was one of the best right backs last season. What decline? What decline, bro?
But his defensive work has not been up to scratch. And
I think he has.
I think he makes a lot of sloppy mistakes.
Yeah, there's minor things, but like I know you're taking your dig. I know you just love taking your dig at United. Yeah, come with solid digs, fam.
I don't even agree with the Lukaku one.
Yes.
I'll give you Sanchez and Maguire. I'm not even going to dispute them.
What? No, Lukaku, I definitely agree.
No. Wait, are we talking about the whole career at that club, or are we talking about one season where he went bad? Because his first season was excellent.
He weren't even, but he still would never hit the numbers. So he went on the decline. First season was not as good as his time at Everton, but it was still decent. Then the second season, the decline has to start and go like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he declined.
I would challenge you about the goals, because he got injured. He got injured like towards the end of the season, and he was on course to hit 30. He was on the course.
No, but that's in all comps. But in the league, the year before he hit 25 for Everton, then when he comes United and hits 14, that's a huge difference. And then the year after in the league, he hits 12 before he gets sold. So it's like. Decline. I know it's unfair because 12 and 14 are still good numbers for a striker in the league, but it's from what he was.
I'll challenge you this. Lukaku at Everton, what was his main attributes? Running behind, having space to run onto it, and go and finishing the goal, yes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At United, do United against most teams in the Premier League get afforded that much space to run in behind?
Cool. And now
this is the point.
Exactly.
Man
now
United
I'll ask a question to you.
The cause.
That's not
It's not Lukaku's fault.
Because when we get to Chelsea, you're gonna see the trend is when we buy players, we don't play to their strengths. I can't make the excuse that Chelsea didn't play to their strengths. They declined at our club because we didn't play to their strengths. You know what I'm saying?
But my thing is this: when you say it was not his fault, it was United's fault. Are you saying the way we treated him, the way you
utilized him?
Cool, but it's not. I'll say this one thing and then we'll just move on. It's not United's fault that teams set up a certain way against the play against us. What is probably maybe our fault is if we know teams play a certain way against us. Yo, you shake your head. If we go to West Ham, do Man United say to David Moyes, play a 4-4-2 with a low block? We don't tell you to do that. That's not our fault.
But it is your fault because it's your job to then prepare for that and be able to sign players that can break.
Yeah, and I was about to say, like, if our fault is signing players that don't suit that, you know what I mean? That don't suit. That's our fault. But to say that he declined at United, like it's our fault.
Because you took a player that was on fire, that was banging in goals. You signed him, even though that maybe he didn't fit your system at the time, or he didn't fit the culture of Man United or whatever. And you took him and you had him banging in meekly 14, 12 goals, and you were fans abusing him, taking the mickey out of his touch, all of this stuff, trying to get him out of there.
I'm not disagreeing. He did decline at Man United, but in terms of when it came to play, some of it's on the player as well, and that's not
but even still, the end result is they weren't as good at Man United as they was before. Like we were talking about Pogba yesterday. Pogba's a tough one because like he is a quality player. He signed for a lot of money, and he obviously hasn't hit the levels that he's hit previously.
Yes. His best season statistically at Man United.
So you don't think like he's been up to you think he's been up to Juve levels? You think he's been up there on a season basis?
On a consistent basis? No,
injuries has hurt him.
But he's also had some of his best like midfield performances at Man United. He's had some of his best career stats are at Man United. You know what I'm saying?
He's one of the most abused players by Man United fans.
Yeah, because our fan base are mad and just love to pick sides and just abuse people. Like that's what it is. Like our fan base are you know what? Our fan base is a massive issue.
So, KJ, I've just got Lukaku stats up. That's why I was quiet. I was just checking the stats, right? So our Everton, 110 games, 53 goals. Manchester United, 66 games, 28 goals. So it's almost a goal a game at Man United, give or take. So it's not that.
I think the point is like it's more because Lukaku's a guy who will always get his stats. He will always get his a bit like Bruno. They'll always get their stats. Yeah. They'll get their goals. But I mean, level of performance. I mean, you can even admit that what you saw from Lukaku at Everton.
I hear you.
Let's just be honest. If you wanted to rate Lukaku's time at Everton, you could give him, let's say, an 8. If you want to look at his time now at Inter Milan, you could also give it an 8. If you were looking at his time at Man United, you probably give it a 6 because it's not just goals; it's also about performance as well.
Yeah, but it's all round again.
Yeah, all round play.
It's not like we told. Okay, you know what? I'm leaving Lukaku alone. You guys are right.
Yeah. And the thing is, he had better players around him as well.
Yeah, no,
at Man United.
Lukaku, so I'm not even going to argue it because obviously I'm not.
Yeah, I personally just think Lukaku's not the hill to die on.
I'm not dying on the hill.
The thing is, I think there's a glaring one.
I will die on that hill. I'm telling you.
I die on that hill.
No way that Paul Pogba has declined at Manchester United. I'm not hearing that.
I just feel like it's been weird though. There's been so much controversy around. Like, is he gonna leave? Does he want to be like this whole story? Like, he hasn't been settled and get to be the hero. I just think like I wouldn't say maybe he's not declined as a player, but maybe the move hasn't worked out in the way it was, and I don't think that's his fault. I just think Man United being a circus is probably why it's been a bit of a mess.
100%. That's the only reason. Well, it's not the only reason why, but for me, that's the main reason why it hasn't worked for Paul Pogba. Is the fact that Man United as a football club is ran by a wallad and is owned by pagans. And I will forever. That is the hill that I die on.
Do you know what it is for me? Yeah. If you guys can tell me a player with a similar situation to Pogba, then I'm gonna agree with you because I want to actually agree with you.
I've got one.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
There's a guy called Mesut Ozil, mate. One of the best players in the world.
He declined at Arsenal.
Yeah. So in terms of going from a Real Madrid, where this guy was practically one of the best players about, and then he just completely he's fully declined. Like Pogba for me, right?
Are you talking about like the media coverage over the
No. I want the comparison in terms of like, so it's tough. It's mad tough because Ozil had had 2 great seasons, world-class seasons at Arsenal, and Pogba's also had a world-class season-ish at United. I'm saying, but Pogba hasn't dropped it's weird. Pogba basically, has had an 8 season at United, has had a 6, has had a 4, and maybe has had another 6.
Yeah, I
Ozil
feel like
had
it's hard because he's been good this season, Pogba.
No, Daniel,
it's so difficult.
let me change that. Let me change what you just said.
Yeah,
It's not that he's had a 6 season and an 8 season and a 4 season. It's he has in a whole season he will have a parts where he's a 4, parts where he's a 6,
that's
parts
exactly
where he's
what
a
it
10,
is. It's so
and
tough.
all mixed up into. And he's just like, what is going? Like, to be fair, he's confused. Like, what is going on?
With the
That's why it's hard with
I think there's a lot of factors surrounding why his form is
100%.
so inconsistent. And again, I know this is gonna be a similar situation to a lot of players. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, you know, as you guys correctly said with the Lukaku thing, you know, you can't really say his system didn't suit him because that defeats the whole point of the flipping debate. But in terms of Pogba, for me personally, right, if you actually look at it from what we wanted from him, he's done so much for us. And I think this is the issue with Pogba. Like, because he's got so much talent, people expect him to defend, assist, or create chances, score goals, obviously run, flip. That soon as they'll say this guy's not putting in his shift. Like, I just think they just expect him to do everything because nobody else on the pitch was doing anything for Manchester now. We had Herrera next to him, who was one of the only people that was actually offering any sort of help towards, you know, Pogba's performances. But in front of him, like I can literally bring up so many occasions that this guy should have statistically been better, but he hasn't because X, Y, and Z.
Watch a compilation.
Sitters. This is what I mean. People base Pogba's time at Man United, and I'm going to use the example of his current form because it's fresh in everyone's mind. Pogba statistically of late. So since the goal against West Ham that shouldn't have stood, whatever. Since that day, right, or since his agent's comments, statistically from that moment to where we are today, he hasn't been brilliant. He's got like, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 goals and an assist, which was the penalty that got against us.
I need to see a full season from Pogba of being.
What I'm saying is statistically he's not great. So people judge him on his poor stats. But if you actually look at an individual game since his comment, those agents' comments, he's been a strong 8 or 9 out of 10 every game. He's not got assist games. He's not got a goal. He's just done his thing. He's run the game so many games. That goal against Sheffield United, I don't know, it might be Sheffield United. The one that Martial or Rashford scores at the end when we counter-attack. When he lets the player rise and challenge, lets the player set. He doesn't get assist, nothing.
Do you know what it is?
Liverpool, when he tackles someone on the edge of our box, again, that he doesn't get no recognition for that unless you watch the game. No stats, nothing. And
what I'd say is, though, with everything that you've described, I'd say like Pogba don't fall in the category of decline for me, but I do think like his whole, and we're taking it as a whole, and regardless of the factors and whatnot, his time at United has been underwhelming because you have to make the argument that look, Pogba was touted to be like top 10 Ballon d'Or candidate, like. And I believe that, honestly, like someone who would be regarded as...
Why did he get in team of the season then? Just literally in the Premier League. Was it last season or the year before last? Why did he still get in team of the season?
I'm looking at his career as a whole. I'm saying, I agree he's had individually good seasons, but you can also make the argument he's also had individually bad seasons. Do you know what I'm saying?
How many seasons have been here for? I don't know. Is it 3 or 4?
It's 4 or 5. 4 or 5.
Well, last season's a complete wrap because he was injured for the whole season. So that's 4 in my eyes. This season has been good. So that's one season has been good. That one season was in.
I would say saying this season he's been good. It's patches. It's all been patches with Pogba though.
Yeah, but he's not playing.
Dan, I get what you're saying about being underwhelming. You've been underwhelming. I feel like people saying, what is the standard that you have for Paul Pogba?
Is it that's my point.
Yeah. Is it that he's a DM and he needs to be the best defensive midfielder in the league, and therefore he needs the most tackles, most interceptions, most ground covered, X, Y, Z? Or is it he's a centre mid and he has to box to box with a little bit of both? Or is it he's an attacking midfielder and your standards are him to have 10 goals, 15 assists a season?
Yeah. I feel like the latter.
Not even managers really come out and say what he's supposed to be, what the standard they have for him, and that also doesn't help because if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, "Yo, listen, Paul Pogba is my box-to-box midfielder. Yeah, I want him to do X, Y, Z. I would like to see from him 10 goals. No, not even 10 goals. Like 10 assists and 8 goals. And to me, he's doing his job correctly and he's having a great season, people will get off his back because there's now a defined role and defined standard that has been set for him. But when there isn't one, people are like, "Oh, we should be scoring 15 goals and 30 assists this season because it's Paul Pogba." It's like, what player can do that besides Messi and Ronaldo? You know what I'm saying? So I think the standard's a bit hard.
Pogba slide then? Are we letting that slide then?
Yeah.
I'll let it slide.
Well, to be fair, you could have mentioned obviously going further back. Like, obviously, like as I said as an example, was Forlan was the most noticeable person that was highly rated before he came to Man United. Obviously, it didn't work out for him. But listen, we're gonna move away from Manchester United. Obviously, you know, there's some of the players that the last thing that have declined since joining the club. Obviously, let us know your thoughts on any of them.
Schneiderlin.
Schwein's died, but he hadn't played in the Prem.
Should we go to you, Daniel? Let's go to your team, Chelsea.
Let's go to my team.
Yeah, bruv.
I've got a few players, Daniel, but I'm gonna allow you to. I'm intrigued. I feel like we've already agreed on Shevchenko, anyways. But you know, I'm intrigued to see what you've got on your list for Chelsea.
I don't have a list per se, but I'd say like it's the problem with Chelsea's players who have declined coming to the club. It's been notable players. You can't see Falcao is a silly shout, like because he was at United first and declined at United.
That one was for United.
Yeah, Falcao, terrible. Oh gosh,
I wouldn't even put Falcao there because when you sign Falcao again, the season before he was terrible.
Injured. Yeah, like, he got injured. He got injured the season before, like for the whole season.
I don't listen. The thing is, Daniel, right? I feel like if you sign him, like say your Torres argument, I would still put Torres in.
No. I'm saying you can put him. I'm saying you can put him.
I said if you had a bad season before, I still feel like that's not necessarily what every player is allowed one sort of like off season. But I feel like when you have that move and you don't live up to what you was before, I feel like you can say they declined at that club. Like you said, if he had an injury, Falcao, do you know what I mean? That's an injury. I don't think that's a decline as a player.
No, you know who's mad, Bakayoko.
You can give it to him because he had a very, very good one season at Monaco. That Monaco team, that whole Monaco team were great. And we just picked the wrong player. Like literally,
you should have got Fabinho, bro.
You should have got Fabinho. You should have got Fabinho. But nah, if the thing with Chelsea's ones is the players that we signed that have been great and then come to our club and aren't that great. The funny thing is that a lot of them, it's the notable ones, as in it's like we spent huge money, put huge stocks in this guy, and then the person didn't deliver. Like
I want to throw a name out, right?
Go on.
This is an interesting one. I want to see what you think as a Chelsea fan, but I would throw Joe Cole out there, right? And the reason why I need to say this is when he was at West Ham, this was a guy that had all the potential in the world, like potential to be world class, right? He had a decent Chelsea career, but if you look back on his Chelsea career, he never ever lived up to the potential that he showed when he was at West Ham. Do you know what I mean? Like when you look how his career ended up. So I feel like you took a player, give him a decent career, but you never like he was on this trajectory. And when he went to Chelsea, it sort of like was like that and then ended like that.
Shall I tell you why I disagree? Shall I tell you why I disagree?
Yeah, you go and I go. You go and I go.
Two reasons why I disagree. One, Joe Cole's trajectory wasn't to be a world-class player, in my opinion. It was to be a very good player. And I even remember his time fondly at West Ham, did a lot of research back into the time. Joe Cole was never, obviously he was a talented player and he was one of the first kind of, you see the Madisons, the Grealishes that you see now. Joe Cole is kind of like the pioneer of that Englishman who's able to be technical and get that 10 position. He was never like a generational talent that was going to go on to finish in the top three of the... Bro, that Chelsea team, I can mention about 4 or 5 players that are ahead of Joe Cole in that Chelsea team in terms of importance and in terms of who is the best player. And he got a good career out of it. I think he got PFA Team of the Year 2005, 2006, the year we won the league. I think that's in and around his ceiling, like being the best player in his position for 1 year.
He had much more potential than what
I don't think so. He wasn't a goal scorer as well. Like
and plus he was injury prone as hell, fam.
He was as well. Yeah.
I want to say this though, for Lawless, I think this is a different kind of thing for him. Coming as a fan of a non-traditional top 6 team, so you got West Ham. You look at these players and you're like, they're amazing. and then when they leave, you're like, okay, this is their shot, this is their chance, and this is their moment to become the player that I believe they can be. And they don't happen. And I feel it's because I don't think you understand the pressure. I don't like. Let me not say that. I think the pressure of playing for a Chelsea, and Man United, and Arsenal.
No, but Chelsea weren't even a Chelsea.
Doesn't get spoken about a lot.
Chelsea weren't even a Chelsea then. Chelsea was still just Chelsea. You know what I mean? They were. It's not like Chelsea were the Chelsea they are now, where they'd had all of these league titles and all of that. Do you know what I mean? When he went to Chelsea, so even the pressure thing, I don't think goes for Joe Cole at that time, because they weren't established as one of the big sides then. They were like just coming off the heels of, you know, middling around between like mid-table and, you know, a little further up the table.
Would you not say he allowed them to establish that or contribute to them establishing?
No, yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't feel like the pressure for what KJ's saying in that regard. I get what he's saying as a point of why that might be a thing, but I think in this instance, because Chelsea, you know, were where they were and they were so new in the game of trying to be that team. And, you know, I mean, they were signing these players. Obviously, they got Frank Lampard, who would get, like, he did go and, like, live up to his expectations at Chelsea. You know, he achieved everything that we thought he would achieve and more. But yeah, Joe Cole not quite. Listen, it's up in the air, isn't it? To say
that was a personal one for you, innit? That one right there.
He tried to give the stick. Joe Cole ain't on the list, man.
I was genuinely interested to hear Daniel's opinion on it. I was really interested.
Honestly, I think the Joe Cole thing, he was a big fish in a small pond at West Ham. Got into Chelsea with a small.
No, because even like you look at before he broke into our team, even as a youth player, you will ask people. You'll ask like people like Rio and people like that who will say just literally how good. Look at Ravel Morrison. Ravel Morrison. People will say, you know, Alex Ferguson said like probably the best player that he's ever seen as a youth player. He doesn't live up to his potential because of all of the extenuating circumstances. Still a quality player, right? Joe Cole was like that fast. People was looking at him and saying, wow, this guy is a player. And then it's, you know, he comes into our team, he starts to show it, then goes and he doesn't quite live up to that. So I'm saying he's on that's like a Ravel Morrison thing. It's not like a big fish in a small pond because it's the way that players you can see in training. Do you know what I mean? In training, there is no big fish, small ponds. It's just, you're a quality player. So I can see what Daniel's point is, though. I can see it's again that one's up in the air. I'm not going to die on that hill because we don't know whether he would have went on to achieve that at, you know, what I mean, West Ham.
I'm saying, Dan, he got into a PFA Team of the Year. What do you think he could have achieved higher than that?
I feel like he probably could have got to a point where he was at least established in that team for seasons to come. I feel like his place in that team faded out too. You're muted.
Nah, he was. Like,
no, but like if you look like long and after a season, he started losing his place quite quickly.
That's because he started losing his legs. He started losing his legs as well.
Listen, Daniel, I've got an absolute banker here. Listen, I don't think anyone's even going to disagree with this one. Abdullah's put Morata, obviously.
Morata's not on the list. He's not on. What? He's not on the list.
Why? Because he's already declined by then.
No, because the point is, if you look at his career, if you look at Juventus, at Chelsea, he scored more goals than he did at Juve as well. His Chelsea season, he spent 2 years. No, listen. He spent 2 years at Chelsea. Living up to your potential not living up to your potential doesn't mean you declined at the club. That's the point I'm trying to make. He scored 50.
Same as Lukaku, though. Like, I think that Morata.
No, but the reputation Lukaku came in with.
You're literally basing this Morata did better at your club than Juventus based on stats. There's no Chelsea fan that genuinely believes that Morata, when you first signed him, your expectations were a lot larger.
That's because of potential, not because of what he had shown.
Bro, at Real Madrid, he was fantastic coming off the bench.
Yeah, but never scored more than 10 goals for Real Madrid.
Oh my God. He was playing that 30 minutes in the game. Like,
you can't compare Lukaku to Morata. Lukaku.
You can. You can't. Man.
No, my point is. Wait, hold on. No, of course you can. This is why I'm saying that you're changing the narrative of the argument, because how can you say Morata declined at the club when he showed
that dude is doing well now again, is he not?
Every season he had and exactly, he's not even doing that well. Shall I tell you now? Yeah, at Atletico Madrid, he's only got one. He spent 2 seasons at Atletico Madrid, and he's only got one goal more.
Out the Champions League, so for me personally, he's done way better. He's
done what about his diving header against Man United? That doesn't count. That doesn't go with folklore. No, but my point is, before he came to Chelsea, his Chelsea season, the one season he had at Chelsea, because the next year he only spent half the year there and he barely played. The one season he spent at Chelsea stacks up as his second best season in his career. So then how can you say that he's declined as a player?
So instead of arguing that he's declined, this is what I said.
If you want to say he's a flop of a chance,
he's a fraud. He's a fraud.
I'm not arguing. I ain't arguing
he
that.
Flopped. Yeah, he flopped.
He is a money laundering scheme. Morata is a money laundering scheme. The fact that my man has been sold for more than 30 million plus every time, fraudulent, some fishy corruption is going on with this brother. That's all I'm saying.
100%.
What about
I agree.
Drinkwater and Barkley?
Barkley, yes.
Barkley, you can say. Barkley, you can say. Everton, he was one of their best players. You took one of their best players.
This is what I'm gonna argue. He was a big fish in a small pond. He got to Chelsea, his level didn't get higher. And that was the issue. It's not like he was bad. It's not like he's terrible. It's not like his level was here, got to Chelsea, went down there. It was like the fact that he got to Chelsea, his level was here, Chelsea levels up there, and all he did was that.
Do you think Barkley showed? I'll ask because I'm even undecided. I don't know, but if you answer this question, then I'll know. Do you think Barkley? Because everyone says, Everton, Ross Barkley, Ross Barkley was still a youngster who was inconsistent, but would have that one game. That made you think. No, I know. And he's
at Villa. Listen, let me
big
get
fish,
twisted.
small pond, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's not get twisted. Him at Villa, yeah. I know Villa fans. I live in the area. Them man still complain about Ross Barkley being inconsistent, bruv. You know what I mean? It's still a thing. So
but he is, and that's the thing. But when he has.
That's when he has decline.
Yeah, exactly. No, literally that.
But let me tell you about this big fish, small pond thing, right? The reason why I'm not fully behind that, because I feel like when you're like a bigger team, you should be able to raise a player's levels to bring them in line. Like if you sign a player with potential, right? You have more money invested in your coaches, and plus they have better players around them, right? If you take a player that's a so-called big fish in a small pond, they're showing that they can do it with less quality players around them to help them.
No, but when
so Barkley's should have better players.
No. Listen. It's more on the player to step up to the level of the club they're at than it is the club making them better. Do you know why? Because when they're at smaller clubs, they are the main men. They are the one they play through. So of course they're gonna look better. They're gonna show ooze their quality. Exactly. They're gonna ooze their excellence because they are looking towards you.
On top of that, they can have bad games and no one will talk about it.
And they will also have bad games. Exactly. As soon as you transport into the bigger team, you are now no longer most of the time anyway. You're now no longer the focal point. And what can you do with the limited amount of time you have in the ball? In this team,
so you don't think it's a factor having better players. Say you're a striker, having like a world class. Say if you're in a team, you've got Hazard in the team, and you're a striker. Don't you feel like then you, as a striker, you should then be getting more goals in that side?
And that's the issue.
You've got better players with you, but
if you're failing with better players around you.
But then you're declining. That's a decline.
You're not declining. You just can't live up to the level.
Because you did it with worse players and you can't do it with better players.
Yes, because you're not up to that level.
No, but that doesn't make sense. Shall I tell you why that doesn't make sense? I've got you. Look, it basically goes back to the point of the funny thing is I was really tight with my receptionist back in school, innit? And she just liked to get involved in the students' lives and find out how they're doing at home and stuff like that, their career prospects and whatnot. I'm gonna make the link now. Cool. She would say, when we finished our GCSEs, she would always tell all the students, don't go to a grammar school to do your A levels because you will then become a small fish in a big pond where you're one of the smartest guys in our school right now. If you go to the grammar school, you will not be in the top 10 or top 20 of kids at that school.
That's
Only
team.
Dan, only a very small amount of players can raise their game when they get like someone like Grealish now. He's got bollocks. If he goes to a big club, I have no doubts in my mind he will become he will still be a quality player with the limited time he has.
Grealish.
Yeah, but let me just ask you this one question then. Say Mesut Ozil's season when he was quality and he had top assists.
Because he had 2 world-class seasons for Arsenal. Yeah.
So let's talk about those is when he was top at assists, chances created. If you take a Lukaku or someone like that and put him in front of Mesut Ozil, surely the expectation should be now he has someone who creates more chances for him and will get more assists, and he should do the same, if not better. He shouldn't be worse in that side.
You know, and then when that play, say that Lukaku comes in, and if he cannot still finish goals, still get more goals than he did at Everton, because he's at this team with better players, it doesn't mean he's declined. It means the level is here and they are here. If you're a footballer and you go to a bigger club and you don't do this, you will never be good enough.
I think the bigger club thing is a cop-out excuse for those clubs to say, like, all right, we've signed this player. We've took this player that had a big rep that was banging, like Lukaku. Then we all accepted that Lukaku declined at Man United. Did we not? Did we not all agree?
No, but Dan, I agree with you. But the problem is the evidence shows that more players, when they are asked to make the step up, don't make it as much as the players who, when they are asked to make the step up, they do make the step up.
Yeah, with your logic, my brother, that means any player could go to a top club
and perform. Look at Joe Linton. No, the going up was Newcastle for him, and he can't even perform there.
No. You can't say Joe Linton because where did they sign him from?
Hoffenheim, bro.
All right, so you're talking about
so that's a whole different.
Cool. So you're. So, cool. See, I can give you a number of examples. There's so many.
No. You're talking about levels. You've just said he's come from a whole different thing, and the levels.
You've got to adapt to a. You've got to adapt.
Dan, why is Maguire? Why is Maguire not the leader of the back? Why is he not this great centre back in the league?
I've got a very good point here. From my homies from Baka. So he watches obviously a lot of football. So I'm just gonna read this out to you. And obviously, let you guys have your say on it. So, Ibrahimovic is a classic example. He was playing with Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, and obviously Dani Alves. Does this mean Ibrahimovic declined? It was a big step up, and always there was a different wavelength. So, obviously, sometimes the system, etc., does have some sort of bearing on that as well.
But that's what I mean. It's onto the club then. If you take a player, I don't feel like it's necessarily. No, listen, I don't feel like it's necessarily a big fish, small pond thing, because if you look at a player, say you look at a player like Barkley. Now, Chelsea signed him because they wanted to get more English players, into their side, and it was a quick desperation thing. They didn't really have a plan for Barkley. Doesn't mean that, he flopped because Chelsea's just this big club and it was too much of a big step up. A lot of the time, these clubs, they get excited, and they're too quick to sign these players, particularly the English ones or the Premier League proven ones. They're too quick to sign him without a genuine plan for taking this player forward and integrating them into the team.
That's a decent shout, but it still means that the player, your argument is the player isn't levels enough to be at that club in the first place. So
no, it's still levels because
yes, it is levels. So you guys signed Jared Bowen, from the Championship. He's coming and he's done well for you guys. That's because he was able to raise his level to the Premier League. If you brought another guy from the Championship,
but you're talking about league to league, like they're still all playing the same.
And within the league,
they're playing the same players.
And within the league, there are still levels. That's why you have Champions League teams, Europa League teams, and everyone else.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Barkley is playing the same teams as part of Chelsea as he is as part of Everton. I know what you're saying is the expectations are higher on him, and I get that. But what I'm saying is if he's not hitting the numbers at Chelsea that he's even hitting at Everton, then that's a decline.
Dan, cool. Let me just ask you this. I'm gonna name 3 players for you right now, and I'm gonna tell you now. If I'm gonna ask you if they go to Chelsea, Man United, Man City, will they still perform at the levels that they're performing now? Yeah, is that calm?
Okay. All right,
cool. James Tarkowski. If Man United, Chelsea, or Man City sign him, is he still performing to his high Burnley levels?
No, because the thing you look at
Tarkowski, no, Dan. I just want
but I'm saying an argument for why he can perform to those levels because he's expecting to defend more. His job as a defender, he's facing more shots. He's having to do a lot more work. So you go in a Chelsea, you go in a Man City. The opportunity is that the chances for him then to not have to face so many shots. Same as keepers. If you're facing shot after shot after shot, and you go into a team where you're facing less shots.
No, but the reason why that's not true though is because so let's look at Maguire for example. When you play for a big team, let's even look at Chelsea Southampton today. Southampton had only 1 shot on target, and it came from the one moment or the one lapse in concentration. Concentration as a defender. These guys who play for Burnley and all these teams with low blocks, the reason why they can defend so at such high levels is because it's coming back at them all the time. So they know they need to be on job. It's a high level skill to be able to defend physically, but also when you go to a big club to be able to defend mentally. Yeah. Mentally is such a big thing. That's why people get onto Maguire for so much.
But don't you think
he's only asked to?
You don't think that's coachable though? You don't think that's coachable?
Mentality. I personally don't think mentality is
concentration. It's not mentality. It's what focus and concentration.
No, concentration. You can drill it into. I've seen coaches do it. You can drill it into your players as much as possible. But if they lose focus on the pitch,
I don't think that's coachable.
What can you do? Yeah, what can you do?
What? So you're telling me that concentration is something that's just you either got it or you don't.
Yes.
To have that point where. Like you've got that situation where you ain't faced a shot, you ain't had to defend in like the past 10 minutes or something.
Damn, that's what separates the best from the best. That's what
I'm saying. But don't you think that that's something where a player can raise their levels? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you saying a player raises levels.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like we're kind of letting the coaching side of things. We're kind of forgetting that a player should be, and this is why my argument against Arteta, right, and all of this stuff about why people are talking about the players. Yes, coaching is as much as part of the game as picking that starting 11. Coaching is everything.
It's easy for you to say that though. Let's even use David Moyes as the perfect example. Why is he able to coach these group of players and make them think, yeah, we can do this, get good results with West Ham. But when he was at United, he couldn't do the same thing and instill that same mentality.
Did he get that chance? Did he get the chance though? Really? How long was he at that club for? To really judge that?
Too long.
But this is where we talk about West Ham, right? We took Craig Dawson, who Watford fans were telling us was one of their worst players, right? And now we've brought him to West Ham, where the expectations are higher, and I feel like we have made him a better centre back. We've shown him as a better centre back. He's playing better at West Ham than he was.
Can he make the jump to Man United, Craig Dawson?
No, well, that's but we don't know, do we? We have to see what he does here week in, week out. Man United
cannot play for Man United.
Man United's defence is shit.
True.
Maguire is shit. Like, so I don't want to hear about Man United like they're Bayern Munich, like he's jumping there.
Yeah, but
like, you're not Man United.
It's still levels above your club. It's still levels above your club.
How many points? No, but come on. You guys got to realize you're not that team anymore. Like,
no, I'm not saying we are. I'm not saying our current team is that team, but our club is still levels above your club.
There's a stature. I understand that.
And that stature is something that players cannot adapt to and raise themselves to, and that's why they flop. And that's the reason why they flop. Like
I feel like what you said. I feel like there is an element there. I'm saying it's not the be all and end all. I'm saying that there should be an expectation that you can take a player who was doing well in a lower club and be able to have a plan for them to fit them in to coach.
No, there is an expectation. We agree.
There is. We agree. But what we're saying is that can only go so far due to the player you're working with.
No, but I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out to keep saying big fish, small pond. Like if you just keep using that,
it's not a cop-out. It's true, but it's true though. It's true.
So you're telling me, any player, if you sign a player from a smaller club
Not any
and
player.
they flop at your club, and you can just blanket that going, where's this?
No, obviously there's context
Come on.
towards it. There is always going to be context towards it. But one of the things can be, and it is for the most of the time, is that they played in the team and they played at their level. So they played. They were a big fish in a small pond. Put them in with better players, more expectation, a bigger club. They start drowning. Why? You know what I mean? Why?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's
Look at I'd even say perfect example is Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson had a worldie of a season at Swansea, makes his big move, gets his big move to Tottenham, was terrible, and then he goes back to Swansea and plays well again, like out of this world.
You
So
can
like
say to Pai as well, to be fair, to Pai as well.
literally, yeah.
Tottenham then.
I still think if you bought the pie now, he could be good.
Yeah, no,
I feel like
bring him back. Bring him back.
I
I'm
want
all
him
for
back.
it.
I want him back. But listen, I've just before we move on to West Ham, because obviously the time's going, because we haven't even mentioned West Ham. So I was gonna do Arsenal that, but we'll leave them for when KL's here. But left field, Daniel, I'll put down Felipe Louise. When you signed him, I don't know, it's a bit random.
Felipe Louise, yeah, the Brazilian. He did decline.
I know it's a bit random, but
1 year.
No. I've checked. So you signed him in 2014. He played 15 games for Chelsea. When you signed him, he's meant to be one of the best left backs around at the time, especially in Europe. Obviously signed from Atletico Madrid. He eventually went back to Atletico Madrid and absolutely smashed it for them. It wasn't great at Chelsea for whatever reason. It didn't work out. I personally think he declined at Chelsea. Not obviously the word decline's a bit harsh, but you know what I mean. His form at Chelsea wasn't what you expected.
Do you know what it is though?
And then he went back to Atletico Madrid, and then obviously it was fine.
Do you know what's tough about that one? I could give it to you. Obviously, decline is a harsh word. I agree.
Yeah.
The thing is, he wasn't. We won the league the year he was there, and he wasn't better than Azpilicueta, who played left back. That's literally what it was. A battle of two players. It was a battle between two players. Pardon?
I think adapt and decline are two different things. I think Felipe Louise failed to adapt to the Premier League. He didn't necessarily decline. It just wasn't his league. He just didn't suit the league. He went back, and obviously he still did.
I think there's other. Look, you could say Shevchenko's definitely there.
Someone said Kante in the comments. I saw Kante in the comments.
No. Here's the thing. No. Here's the thing with that one. Yeah, he may be declining due to old age, but most of his Chelsea career, he's been absolutely brilliant. So that's not declining, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. That was not me.
Listen, this is a good point again from Baka. Just obviously, I don't want to go back to your previous argument or debate, should I say?
Exactly, yeah.
Fabregas, another example, couldn't play with Javier Hernandez.
Coutinho, when he went to Barcelona.
But listen, let's move away from Chelsea, obviously. In fact, no, actually, I have to ask this because Daniel tweeted this. Pulisic, Daniel, does he fall into this category? Because look, at Dortmund, for me personally, he was quality. But when he came to you last season, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was fantastic last season.
He's not there yet, and I tweeted it as if you didn't catch the sarcasm. You didn't catch the sarcasm. You didn't catch the sarcasm in the tweet, innit? But the point is,
I saw your reply to the guy and said, "You think so?" You put, "Yeah, definitely." Yeah.
But if you're gonna say that,
lying. This guy's a liar.
You might as well say back.
No, do you know what? Batshuayi you can put in the decline thing because he was a gunman in League One.
He went to Marseille, was a good man, came to Chelsea, was ass, went to Dortmund and was a good man again, and then came back, he was ass
again.
And look at him at Palace, even still, he's not even good at Palace. Like,
Palace.
Yeah, he's dead now. He's dead now.
Palace, he was bagging. His first season at Palace, he was bagging.
His
first
bagging is a stretch.
Obviously, but it's Palace. How many opportunities do they really make for their strikers? And he was doing well at his first season at Palace. Second season at Palace now was you know what I mean?
Declined. Abraham's just not good.
That's your own. I feel like that's your own academy player.
Exactly.
Also, Rudiger. What about Rudiger? Because he was highly touted before he got to you.
Was Rudiger that good before we bought him? Yeah. If you want to put him there, you can. I don't think you can. I don't think he was that good personally.
You lot were hyping him up a lot. Like when you got him,
He came into an Antonio Conte system. Remember, to play in a free.
I'm telling me though, Liz. That's why. But that's just me. Liz.
Pardon? What did you say?
Listen, we'll finish the show. We're gonna finish it obviously. But we're gonna finish the show with a West Ham segment. So I don't know if you should let
number one player is Felipe Anderson.
Yes,
Felipe
you guys
Anderson.
do to that brother,
Can't
fam?
even argue. Dan, I saw. Wait, hold on. Before you say, I saw the message where you said Lazio fans told us he wasn't. He's in. I'm not hearing that. He was one of the best players in Europe when you bought him.
No, best players in Europe. One of the
I'm stretching it. I'm stretching it. But he was a quality player because it wasn't just West Ham who were in for it. I remember Man United even having interest in him.
We wanted him.
Yeah.
I wanted him as well, bro. But he turned out to be one of these.
And he even had a good first season. He had a good first season.
No, I feel like he had a respectable first
Yeah,
season.
respectable.
It weren't like he blew us away like, whoa, this play. Like, he showed what he could do. He showed in games, and we're going to get on to Alea as well. But but here's my thing, right? And it vindicates Chelsea as well. I feel like it's harsh to look at players that have never played in the Premier League and say they declined, because sometimes it is difficult to make that jump to the Premier League. I mean, Alea, we never played to his strengths at all. I've said that.
You said the same for Lukaku.
No, if you're going to
the goalposts have been moved. The goalposts have been moved.
No, but the thing is, Lukaku came from a Premier League side. He was doing it in the Prem. And this is the thing.
I can't hear a thing, fam.
Like, come on. No, but Anderson was very inconsistent at Lazio. I'll ask anyone. I was there in the stadium talking to their ultras when we was looking to sign him and said, what you got to tell me about Felipe Anderson? He's like, he's good, but he'll go missing for like 3, 4, 5 games. That's what he does. But whereas us, we just look at the highlight reels and seeing like, whoa, this guy's amazing. But if you have to watch him 90 minutes every week, it's a different story. And Haller, I feel like West Ham was part. I could take that, even though he obviously didn't play in the Premier League. I could probably take that one because look, I mean,
I've come prepared, mate. I've come prepared, bro. You wanted to go by that. He hasn't played in the Premier League. Well, there's one player that played in the Premier League, won it all. Came to you from Leverkusen. Big man striker, Javier Hernandez.
No, do you know what? Yeah, he was bagging it in Germany. Like, but this is the problem, right? Look, and I love Moyes, but there was times where he was playing him as a target man. Like, come on. It's
I know we can head the ball. Does it mean
but he's not a target, man.
You can't play him up front on his own and lump long balls to him. It's just not gonna work. Like, geez, no, I have to take Hernandez. I can't.
I've got one more. I don't know if this will count, but we'll see. Man won the Premier League how many different times and came to your club and stunk out the joint. Man like Zabaleta, fam.
No.
His one was old age.
Zabaleta did not stink out the joint. Like, his last season, he weren't up to his level, but the first season, he was in my contention for Player of the Year. Like, Warrior,
he did put Martial on lock that one game where we lost.
He was, and there's other players obviously that we signed that I feel like were already in decline before, like Robbie Keane and players like that. Lundberg.
What about these two players in particular? Massive reputations. Jack Wilshere once said, he passed it against Barcelona back in 1992. And also the other one, Sami Nasri.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up on here, because that one, right?
I don't think Nasri declined,
Nasri was dead.
He was dead.
But here's the thing. Nasri, that's that time we got him. When we played him, he was looking so good. Like, he got that assist against Arsenal for Declan Rice. And anytime he played, he looked so positive. The problem was his injuries. Like he got injured, and just
I was too busy going out to Spain and that, getting them little drips. You know what I'm saying? Getting them.
I'm not hearing we declined Jack Wilshere. Jack Wilshere declined at Arsenal.
No, but I do have two genuine players though that declined at your club. The first one is I don't know if you guys remember Nikita Jelavic. Jelavic was a striker for Hull and Everton, and he used to back goals. And I don't even think he scored a goal for West Ham. He scored one.
No, he scored one. I think in the cup. I can't remember if it was against Wolves or something. Like he scored like 8 goals. And obviously he was getting on when we signed him. He was a flop. He definitely was a flop. But when we signed him, I can't remember. Like at Everton, he was a good.
The year before, he scored 8 in 13 for Hull.
Maybe that was in the championship. That was in the championship, wasn't it?
Lawless, what about
probably? Do you know it?
No, Arnautovic is an example of a player that we improved. We've improved players. He was better at West Ham. We changed.
No, he actually was. He
was actually way better at West Ham. Now, to be fair, Arnautovic, he just got too big for his boots, and that was his issue.
Yeah, I don't even know what his problem is because he behaved like he was good before he was good.
Bro, I remember when the Brennerman Stoke, man used to think he was the dog's bollocks. And Austria, fam, relax yourself, like calm down.
No, someone said Shamak, that he did bits in Bordeaux and Arsenal. I don't remember Shamak being particularly good at Arsenal. In fact, that's one of their banter players.
Yeah, he was dead, fam. He was dead. Yeah. I'm trying to think of one more before we wrap up. I want to think of one more.
Zarate.
Zarate. He had some good spells at our club, but he was. There was times that he was really good. I mean, that season, I think it was. I can't remember if it was against Arsenal, that 2015 season, just before we sold him. Like he scored. I can't remember if it was at Anfield or at Arsenal when he scored, and he was a good player. But
the reason why I do say he declined
in Valencia.
And Andy Carroll as well. This one's for English Ibrahimovic.
No, Andy Carroll declined at Liverpool.
At Liverpool.
Yeah. Like we're
gonna have to do another episode.
We just thought he was because he was Big Sam's wet dream. We was like, Carroll and Big Sam.
What is your opinion on Lanzini?
Lanzini's declined at West Ham. Like he's been a player that has declined within the club. Like he was good for the first couple seasons. That big injury with Argentina that he got, he's never been the same since that injury got when he went away with the World Cup. And he has declined, but I don't feel like we declined him. Like we pushed him up a level, and then he just dropped. That I feel like we have raised a lot of players. We've made a lot of players into better players. Like Rice. Look at Rice. Like Chelsea, they let him go. They said he weren't good enough. We take him and we make him into a player that is just unreal. He's so good. He got Frank Lampard fired. Like I'm telling you, he's.
Dan's just happy now that we don't want him anymore.
I feel when Man United come stealing, fam, because I feel like that's who we're gonna get.
No, but this is the thing. Is what I'm. This is kind of how the whole thing started. Because I'm thinking, like, if I'm Declan Rice, why in the hell would you go to Manchester United? Like you are on the. That you're gonna ruin him.
Dan, anytime I speak to West Ham fans, Leicester fans, Everton fans, it's the same thing. They always ask why though. You have to understand it from the player's perspective. It's not just about going to the best team at the time. What players do, especially talking to a lot of football players and talking to them about how they make their decisions in terms of what teams they go to, you have to that teams pitch to players the same way when your manager tries to apply for a job and they have to put a presentation together on why they believe they should get the job. Players literally go there, and teams are literally saying, we're gonna make the midfield around you, we're gonna do this, and you're thinking at Manchester United playing at Old Trafford week in, week out, I'm the main man in the midfield. Why wouldn't I?
And also,
he's going to be in the Champions League for one season, a couple of seasons.
But the thing is, one. West Ham, you may get Europa League this year. You may get maybe even Champions League if things go hella mad. But you get Europa League here. But again, there's no guaranteed. Yes, Toby.
Yes, Toby.
There's no guarantee that would ever happen again. And two, think about the legacy, bro. The legacy. If you any player coming to Man United now, if they are part of the team that get back Manchester United at the top, just like this Liverpool team, if they are part of the team that does that, they are in folklore. Their names will be sung
might
about.
as well say that for if he goes to Everton and he becomes the guy who makes Everton up there.
Dan, if I told you that Kevin Phillips got the European Golden Boot in 2002, I believe it was, but no one on this earth will ever remember Kevin Phillips as one of the best strikers in the Premier League, because the best club he played for was probably flipping Sunderland. Or who? That's why do you and I've even seen you say Harry Kane needs to leave. Why are you saying that?
I'm not saying that Declan Rice. No, I'm not saying why would he leave West Ham. What I'm saying is,
why would he leave to go to Man United?
It's important that you get the right move, and I'm saying that that's not necessarily the right move.
Was Chelsea the right move for him?
No, right. Here's the thing about Chelsea. I think your fans, the thing is about Chelsea, what I said about Man United, I said Man United will spend one season in the Champions League, like 2-3 in the Europa League. Chelsea will spend like maybe 2 in the Europa League and then go win the title. Like, so if you're going to go to any club, go to the team that's has a higher chance of winning something. Like,
but that's true. But that may be true. But what if you're what if you are the missing piece that team needs to go on to do that?
Maybe.
If you,
I don't know.
Like Michael Carrick, I forgot what year it is, but when we bought Michael Carrick, he went from Tottenham. He was the missing link that Fergie needed to go on and do a madness. You know what I mean? So, and at that time, you could have said, do I really want to go to United? They're not really doing that.
The only thing I'd say to that is I disagree, because Man United at that time were the pool was crazy.
The manager, you don't know what's going on the manager. Do the fans want him to stay? Do they want him to stay?
I just read that. Wait, I'm going to respond to that as well.
Like, there's so much instability around the club. You can't trust the transfers.
Who does Abdullah support? West Ham.
I
think it's West Ham.
Yeah, he's one of us.
I get what you're saying, and those complaints you have there are the same complaints I have about Manchester United as a football club.
Yeah,
but we're gonna need players. Say Declan Rice believes in himself enough to go there and make a change. Those are the players.
Who else are you signing? I need to see who else you're signing, though. If I'm Declan Rice, I need to see who else are you signing.
Wait, who is Declan Rice to ask?
No, but a midfield of Declan Rice, Pogba, and Bruno is enough to win the league.
Who is their attack though? Rashford, inconsistent. Martial, who? Like, where the hell was that?
No, but Dan, don't you think? If they buy Rice and they somehow pattern their defense, that is the issue. The issue isn't scoring goals. You can have Rashford, Cavani, Martial, and Greenwood as your and Amad Diallo, who I think needs to be above Dan James in the pecking order. If you're spending 40 M's on him, then he must be this baller. The attack is fine. I think the attack is actually fine.
I'm not dropping this. Who is Declan Rice to go to Manchester United? You want to sign me?
You need him more. You maybe need him more than he needs you. He don't really need him. He doesn't, because if Chelsea want him, no.
What's crazy though is United are gonna have to pay stupid money, and West Ham it's extortionate fees that you're gonna have to pay for Declan Rice.
Even Liverpool are linked with him as well. So if you're Declan Rice, you're gonna say, "What?"
Lawless, wait, one second. Can I just say one thing? I hear what you're saying, right? But first and foremost, he's not getting to Liverpool's team. They got Thiago and Fabinho, right? Man United's team.
I've heard Liverpool fans talk about Thiago.
He might not play for Chelsea. He might not even play for Chelsea.
We don't even want him anymore. Yes, we don't need him.
Chelsea link was Frank
Lampard. They decided they don't hate Mount anymore.
Exactly. Chelsea link was Frank Lampard. One of the reasons why he got sacked.
Frank wanted to bring his boy.
Yeah, bring his boy.
Yeah, I don't even want Rice. I want Ndidi anyway, so I don't even give a shit. Who is he to say, or who are we going to sign with? We've got Pogba in the field, bro. Get out, man.
Imagine.
Pogba's leaving, mate.
He's leaving. Wait, Ali, who you signed before you?
No, but what's crazy though is you lot are and the thing is, it's actually funny. But the funny thing is, Declan Rice his agent will honestly ask, because they will honestly ask, who are you signing and what is the plan for the future? Because it's the same. Obviously, I know Declan Rice is not the same as Van Persie, but look at what Arsenal tried to show to Van Persie to convince him to stay, showing him the trajectory of the finances and how good and the funny thing is, the finances after were terrible.
Yeah, Daniel, you know that's what. Okay, we talked to Declan Rice. Yeah, Declan Rice and his agent talked to Ed Woodward. Yeah, and he's like, all right, cool. Like, where are you going as a football club? What's the plan? Man will be like, oh yeah, so we've got all these noodle sponsors that we've got lined up. Listen, burritos have spoke to us, and we can get you a nice burritos ad to boost your profile. Or the social media clicks on your profile as well. That's what. To be fair, that's one thing I'll always agree with any rival fan, any fan talking about Man United. We are ran by a Wallad and owned by pagans, fam. Like, these men don't know what they're doing. So if Declan Rice went to Woodward and told me what the hell are you doing, I back it.
I think we need to put out a poll on who are the worst owners, Golden Sullivan or the Glazers, because it's tough. It's a tough one.
No, I would say.
Well, Kroenke is in the conversation as well.
The four worst owners in the Premier League: the Glazers,
the Glazers,
the Gold brothers. Yeah, them man there, and then Mike Ashley. The four worst owners.
Kroenke. This has FSG as well. Someone said in the chat. I think that's.
But this is the thing why I don't like to hear it too much about Kroenke, right? Could Kroenke spend more money? Yes, but is he trying to run the club properly, like a proper football club? Yes, he is. He's trying to hire the right people. He hired the Dortmund scout, tried to get that guy in. He brought him in. He made some decent signings, and then he left. And then he tried to buy another scout. What's his name?
They got Edu in for
Edu.
I swear they had a guy before.
Sananelli.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And he stole money from the Pepe transfer.
Yeah. Man was shaving things off the top.
Shaving it off the top.
They spent 70 minutes. Arsenal fans were dancing, they were tracking his plane, like Pepe's plane when they signed it.
It's all about party time.
The best thing I can say about Kroenke, that over West Ham and things, and even the Glazers, because it's the same thing. At least Kroenke tries to hire the right people and let them get on with it. The Glazers continuously let Ed Woodward carry on in the job, even though he's incompetent. And West Ham, David Sullivan has tried to be the director of football himself and has relied on agents as he scouts.
What I would say is, and it makes you wonder, why these guys get it wrong, because there's always a problem with each person. Like, I look at the West Ham owners, they've actually put money into the squad. When you look at the players you get year on year, you guys actually spend money on players, like whether it might not be astronomical figures, but you buy a lot of players each season. But then they're buying the wrong players and scout. Like, you just see West Ham, they're interested. Remember the year you wanted a striker? You were literally, as if it was Football Manager, you were declaring interest in every single striker on the market.
I never got one.
I never got one.
In January, yeah. We did that in January. We do that. And it's literally like, and that's the problem with Allaire and players like that flop, because you look at their stats and you hear an agent and they'll go like, oh, this player is really good, you should sign him. And they'll, okay, give me a deal, give me a little discount or something so you can get the deal money. And we'll sign him and not realize like, oh crap, this guy don't fit into our team. Like, we play with one up top, like Hernandez. Hernandez, great stats, great reputation, Premier League proven. Oh, but guess what? We play with a lone striker. And we're going to be pumping
player profile, and that's why, as much as we could, this might as well be the end of this, and this is the hot take for Chelsea. I honestly believe Calvert-Lewin will be a better striker for us than Bayern Haaland, because we just won't play to his strengths, and player profile matters. Calvert-Lewin is someone who can hold up the ball, and that's the striker we need. Someone who can hold up the ball and bring guys into play and let the other talent shine, and that's the problem.
I will say this before we finish. Yeah, I'll say this. The Glazers and I'm not even going to utter their name. The pagans. I despise them. Well, out of Woodward, get out of that job here. But from the moment I saw a fan take a corner flag, march up the pitch, and whack it in the center of a football pitch, that's when you know everything's gone to pot. So I will say here,
the second time that's happened at West Ham.
The West Ham owners are worse than the Glazers. I'll say it now.
Yeah.
That is actually madness. That is actually madness. And
that's listen, we're gonna finish on that because we've gone off topic. But listen, regarding today's debate, obviously let us know in the comment section who you agree with, who you disagree with. To be honest, I feel like Abs has been one of the viewers just sat here. I've enjoyed them. I'm not gonna lie, I've enjoyed watching everything unfold. Obviously, we're not mentioning Spurs, we're not mentioning Liverpool, we're not mentioning Arsenal. We're gonna have to do a part two, obviously, to mention. To be fair, but the reason we didn't mention Spurs is because that list is that long. We're probably
Spurs one is crazy, by the way.
Crazy. That entire AVB line
era. Tim Sherwood, AVB.
So we'll have to do another one for Spurs, honestly, because I'm too long. But then again, they're kind of relevant. Does everyone even care? But anyways, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. From what I'm aware of, 30 subscribers away from 1K. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, support the homies. All of their links to their YouTube channels are down below. As always, Lawless, we start with you, bro. What is your Twitter at? Obviously, people can see anyways. But
yeah,
where can they find you, bro?
Yeah, they're at the Lawless, and obviously West Ham Fan TV on everything. West Ham Fan TV, obviously YouTube will be doing a watch along for the Spurs game tomorrow. So come and join us. I'm hoping you'll see me, just jumping about, pouring water on my head and celebrating and not miserable. So find out tomorrow, I guess.
Yo, shit, that's gonna, honest to God, that West Ham Spurs game got so much bragging rights riding on.
I beg Jesse Lingard. I beg Jesse Lingard score a hat trick.
Hopes he's going to be coming for my neck. He was in the comments. He's going to be coming for my neck if they was.
Don't worry. I've got you. I'm on your side with the boy Lingard. But listen, Daniel, where can the people find you?
Obviously, Twitter as seen on screen, but all my football content as on the Ball TV. Got a new show called Football Heritage coming out soon as well, so should be good. But come on, Spurs, we need a big performance.
Oh yeah, you're shocked right now. Them men are on your ass.
You know what it is? I want to go into that United game in the top 4, and we need it. We need it. We need it. We need a big Spurs performance.
We have arrived, people.
Apparently, yeah, West Ham are candidates now. They're candidates now.
We're trying to go 5 points clear of Liverpool and 9 points clear of Spurs.
All right, speak it, bro. Speak it, bro. Hey, come on.
Big game.
Flex.
We're discussing the Liverpool defeat. Oh my God, I'm so happy, man. On Monday, don't worry. Well, last but not least, KJ, bro, where can they find you?
Oh yeah, so on Twitter, find me at elite_KJ. You know what I'm saying? If you want to have a good time and vibe out, yeah, come to my Twitter. We have a good time in that. Also, you'll find me on the Football Terrace. That's where I am predominantly doing match reactions. And my show, Midnight Vibes, that is on every Sunday and Wednesday at 12 a.m. I'm pretty sure Daniel's been on there, Usman's been on there. I'm pretty sure me and the Lawless can chat and get him on there too, make him join Vibes FC and that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, hit us up there, subscribe to the Football Terrace.
Yes, you love to see it. As I've said, everyone's links is down below to the YouTube channels. Literally go in the description, show them love, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Usmaan Talk Tonight, which is where the link for the fan calling show against our massive game against Newcastle. What a game. Probably the game of the weekend. You're going to love to see it. Go watch along. But listen, make sure you're back Monday for the Rival Fan podcast, because I can tell you now, either Lawless or Kish are going to be pissed, and I'm looking forward to it. But apart from that, it's been your boys, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let us know who you think the team is that's ruined the most players. Obviously, everyone's going to say Chelsea. Anyways, it's been your boys.